Welcome to the Hired Not Fired podcast, brought to you by The Real Me, the soft skills first talent solution that helps employers hire entry-level employees with better developed soft skills, such as communication, problem solving, or emotional intelligence. Join us as we sit down with hiring managers, talent leaders, and others and get insider tips to help Gen Z stand out and get hired. Let's dive in. Welcome, everybody. Our guest today is Chelsea Vallilee from Fastenal. Chelsea is a regional recruiter for Fastenal and has been in the recruiting space for over 15 years. She has a bachelor's in human resource management, and her passion is helping people connect their talents with their strengths in order to pick a career field that will allow them to grow and succeed. Welcome, Chelsea.
Thanks so much for having me, Deb. I'm really looking forward to this conversation today.
Well, we are excited to have you and with all your experience. But first, tell us a little bit about Fastenal, because I think it's great because you touch so many businesses and really in indispensable ways. And yeah, a lot of people don't know the name. So for those who may not have heard of you, tell us a little bit about what Fastenal does, how many employees you have.
Yeah, absolutely. So Fastenal is a business to business industrial distribution and supply chain management company. So we don't sell direct to consumers, which is why a lot of people in the general population don't know what Fastenal is, because unless you've worked in a business industry that works with Fastenal, you probably haven't seen what we do on any type of scale. So we really take over the supply chain for big businesses. So companies like Tesla and Amazon and GE, they come to us for their consumable materials. So we are selling products, which could be PPE, cleaning equipment, nuts and bolts, everything from toilet paper to water bottles. So literally a full line industrial supplier. Those companies work with us to make sure that their planned spend is always met and kept in mind, but also that they don't run out of the products they need to do their job. So we're really keeping them from having bottlenecks in their supply chain. So there's a lot of different industries we work with, but manufacturing is one of the biggest industries we work with. And we actually have 3,500 locations across the world in 27 countries. And we have just under 24,000 employees. So really big global company that usually isn't known to the general public.
That's great. I love it. So those of you who are looking for a job, pay attention. Well, I'd like to start off by asking, what is the number one thing that you look for in an entry-level candidate that most influences whether you decided to bring them in for an interview or even a phone screen?
I think we're really so one of the biggest things is we're looking for your personality. We want you to embrace your personality and your confidence. So being approachable and warm is one of those things that's really important to us. But also being able to share that you're willing to learn and really coachable and open to learning new things. We're looking for those two things. So do you have a personality and are you coachable? Those are two of the things that are going to get us really excited to bring somebody in for an interview.
That's great. We've been talking about the importance of coachables so much recently. And that personality, yeah, those people skills, you can't overestimate how important they are. So, what do you think of the headlines? I'm sure you've seen all the buzz in the media today saying that Gen Z isn't prepared for the workplace. Their soft skills, such as communication, coachability, problem solving, those people skills aren't developed to a point where they need to be for success in the workplace. What do you think of that?
Truly, I don't think that that's completely accurate. So I'm meeting a lot of students, and I think a lot of it, there's different personalities regionally, but I think some of it too is, are these students getting involved while they're in middle school and high school? If they're not involved in band or sports or organizations, they're not getting a chance to interact with their peers and teachers. And I think sometimes that kind of puts them behind because they haven't really learned how to interact and overcome some of the challenges that you face when you're working in a group. Personalities differ so much from person to person, and we all have different strengths and weaknesses. So learning how to play to someone's strength and balance that with one of your weaknesses is really important. And I think that's where some of the students we're seeing in this generation just didn't have as much experience or weren't dedicating as much time to being involved in those different organizations while they were in middle school and high school. And it makes them a little more nervous to approach those things when they start college.
I noticed that none of those activities involve being online.
They don't.
I think that's telling. I think that's great. And also, it's optimistic because, there is something you can do. Just get out and interact with other human beings. And in fact, that's something that I always say. I come from a higher ed background and research in education. And one of my specialties is adult cognitive development. And what people don't understand is adults, they advance their cognitive abilities and all their abilities through experience, through interaction. And if you're not getting that interaction, you're not getting to develop those skills. So go out and get involved is what you're telling people, right?
Yes. And it doesn't even have to be an organization that you stay involved with forever. I think there's a lot of work that can be done, volunteer work, getting involved and helping make an impact in your community, but building a network and really getting yourself involved in, situations that may not always be comfortable.
Getting out of the comfort zone. That's a great lesson. And I love how you said that volunteer work also counts because, sometimes it's hard to get an internship or a good internship. Right. And so that's really helpful, that even volunteer work. What is one pet peeve or a common mistake that you've seen new grads and early career applicants make?
I think one of my biggest concerns is that some students cannot make a consistent amount of eye contact when you're talking to them. I know how nerve-wracking it is to walk up to somebody at a career fair, and I have to remind the students that we work with that when we are at a career fair, some of those that come to that are working the table at their career fair are just as nervous as the students because it's not something they normally do. So I think that eye contact is really, really important and making sure that you can engage. You don't have to stare straight on at somebody the whole time, but don't let your eyes wander so much that it distracts from the conversation. The other one that I think is really, really big deal that students should be aware of is having a good handshake says so much about you. And if you come and you have this really delicate or this limp hand, it's one of those things that I worry about. How confident are you in yourself? So I always tell students, work on your handshake, give your friends and your family handshakes all the time and practice that so that when you do it with a stranger, it's not uncomfortable or awkward.
That's a wrap on part 1 of our interview with Chelsea Vallee from Fastenal. Today we uncovered what really matters in early career recruiting, why personality and coachability can outshine experience, to the surprising power of eye contact and a confident handshake. But we're just getting started. In part 2, Chelsea dives into the rise of AI in job applications, what works, what flops, and how to make it sound like you. Plus, we explore how new grads with zero experience can still stand out and build a network that gets results. Don't miss it. Part 2 drops on Thursday.